Here we have the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 6. Which one is better? And of course, if you go off the paper argument, yes, the Pixel 7 is probably going to win in that department. The Pixel 7 is a better phone. But I think there's a lot to look at here. There's a lot to examine. So I like both of these phones. I bought both of these with my own hard-earned money. These were not sent to me by Google. And of course, you guys know I love to cover the Pixel content, so you can get all the latest on the updates, the fixes, the what's wrongs, the what's rights, and hey, just generally like Pixel content. So first thing I want to talk about when comparing these two phones is the design and how they look. So there's been some changes between the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 7, and it's very apparent to see here on the back. So we have actually the Pixel 7 is slightly smaller. So for those of you who like the Pixel 6a form factor, this right here is going to line up with it pretty well. Just slightly bigger than the Pixel 6a, just slightly smaller than the Pixel 6. But I'm not a big fan of this lemongrass color. Like it, especially when you mix it with the gold and a little bit of yellow light, I'm not really digging the way that it looks. I definitely like the way the Pixel 6 looks better. And a lot of people have gone back and forth, but it seems like a lot of people like the way the new camera module looks here on the back with the metal band and the more like raccoon eye, bandit eye kind of look when it comes to the cameras. I like the subdued, the black all the way across. I think that this looks better than this does. I don't know why. It just kind of draws your attention over there. Little Cyclops eyes, Johnny Five Eyes. If you ever saw the movie Short Circuit, Johnny Five is alive. No disassembled number 5. Anyway, so most of the stuff on the inside is relatively the same. So Pixel 7, 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, about a 4,300 and change milliamp battery, versus over here, we have the bigger screen by 0.1 inch, so 6.3 inch, 6.4 inch, and then we get the same thing, 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigs of RAM, reverse wireless charging, all that good stuff, and that's perfectly fine. IP67 dust and water resistance, IP68 dust and water resistance. So they went all the way. They bumped it up from the 1.67 to the 6.8. Maybe that has a little bit more to do with the more solid unibody design, and you can see with the camera module on the back, it's one flowing piece that goes into the metal frame versus you get kind of the disjointed appearance here. But I don't know, some people are like, oh, it feels like the 6 is put together kind of Frankenstein-y, like they just put parts together. And I will say, and I said this from the get-go, the 7 feels more premium, it feels more well balanced and put together, it feels like a complete phone. Not that this one doesn't feel like a complete phone, maybe that's the wrong words to use, but when you pick this one up, it just feels smooth. Versus the Pixel 6, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the frosted edges on it, and maybe it feels a little bit lighter, less. I don't know. I can't really describe it, but the 7 just has a more premium feel to it. But the 6, though, I really do love the 6. I always wanted the coral color. I love the balance here, kind of the white with the green and the black. I think it's a more fair mixture of colors that really complement each other, more so than looking like something that came out of like some 70s tile in a bathroom in LA. It's okay, and of course there are other colors. I'm just not crazy about the lemongrass. So yeah, the Pixel 6, of course, both of these phones started off at $599. You can get the 6 less than that now. Somebody I had seen posted the other day that you could get them as low as $399 some places. Probably a temporary sale. They're trying to move the stock on these things. More so, this isn't going to be so much, I think, a which one should you buy, as more of should you upgrade from the Pixel 6 to the Pixel 7. And I want to answer that in a very, I don't know, direct and short way. If you're happy with the Pixel 6 and you haven't experienced any problems and you think that the phone is good, hold on to it. There's not really a point to get rid of it. It's a very good phone. And actually, one thing that I want to address is the underlying chip that's in the phone. So we have the Tensor chip in the Pixel 6. We have the Tensor G2 in the Pixel 7. Now, everybody basically thought we were going to get the new 4nm processor. It was going to be faster, so much better. And we listened to what they said at the keynote, where they're like 60% better efficiency, more powerful on machine learning and AI stuff because of the Tensor chip, and supposed to be more power efficient. But then after we finally got it a couple days after the event, we realized 5nm processor. So basically, it's the same processor as last year in a lot of ways, but there are some substantial changes. Most notably, there were like 21 GPU cores in the Pixel 6, and they lowered that down to, I believe, 7 for the Pixel 7, but it's more modern, newer, faster GPU performance. So a couple little changes here. It looks like they souped up the regular Tensor's overall clock speed by just a little bit, bumped it up a notch on the G2 series here with the Pixel 7. But overall, I think you're going to see very substantial performance in the machine learning, the processing, post-processing for videos, night mode and stuff like that, and machine learning tasks. But on day-to-day stuff, just your apps, your normal day-to-day life, I think you're going to see pretty comparable performance. What I've seen so far and what I'm hoping we continue to see is it seems like maybe they did some retooling, because if you've got a Pixel 6 or you had one or you read about them, you know that they had issues with the battery. Battery life wasn't that great. Standby time wasn't good. Battery drain, especially self-standby time, was not good. It would get hot. Some people reported that the phone would get really hot. And that seems to have changed quite a bit in the Pixel 7. From my experience with the Pixel 7, it did get a little warm like the first day or two when I was downloading, installing, and setting up all sorts of stuff, but every phone does that. Every single phone will get warm the first day or two you're using it when you're downloading, setting up, trying to do all these things all at once. The long-term picture, after the first about 48 hours, that's really a better litmus test. And I gotta say, the first week that I owned the Pixel 6, it would just randomly get hot while I was just watching YouTube videos for no reason. Like, it just would get hot. Whereas the Pixel 7, after the initial warmth that it had that first day or two, it's been cool as a cucumber and I haven't had any other problems. I did try and overheat it. I tried to do some 4K 60 video recording, got well over 10 minutes, no problem. I also tried to do some video calling because somebody else had reported that using Telegram for video calling overheated the phone after about 20 minutes. I gave it about half an hour. No problem there. So maybe with Android Auto, I've heard some people say Android Auto warms it up. I don't use Android Auto. It's not in my car, so that's not something I can even test. But overall, the phones themselves, I think from a day-to-day perspective, they feel about the same. The Pixel 7, of course, coming with Android 13 out of the box. It had a couple of months to get that ironed out before launch. Pixel 7, smoother software experience. It feels smooth as butter. It feels like the phone the 6 was supposed to be. It really does. And that's kind of like the same thing we got with the Surface Duo 2 versus the Surface Duo. It really felt like the phone that it was supposed to be the first time. Very much like the Z Flip 3 once we got there versus the Z Flip 5G. It just felt like the phone it was supposed to be. So if you can get a good trade-in deal, if you want to ditch your Pixel 6 and trade it in for the 7, there are some pretty good deals on that still going on, I think, at Best Buy, maybe even with Google. But if you're happy with the 6, you don't want to spend any money, and you like the way it works, you're going to be fine with it. And you're going to get mostly the same experience on a day-to-day basis, period. Period. I mean, end of statement. It's a good phone, as much as whether you may or may not want to hear that, or may or may not want to believe it. The Pixel 6 is a very good phone, and the Pixel 7 is a very gooder phone. Yes, I pulled that one out of the dictionary there, gooder. It is a better phone in a lot of different ways, a lot of little tangible things here and there. You get the better signal with the modem. It's got a new modem in it. The processor, I think, is more reliable, less prone to heat issues. Battery life, I think, is probably going to be about the same just because of the battery savings you get with the less heat, the less offset, and things like that. And yeah, 0.1 inch difference on the screen. The most relevant issue here you probably care about is the Pixel 7 has the new selfie camera, which is substantially better than the selfie camera in the Pixel 6. Plus, you can record 4K 60. That's also a nicety. So yeah, as far as a versus, I think the Pixel 7 wins or is a tie in most categories. But if you're going to go buy one new nowadays, unless you can just get a good deal on the 6, I would recommend the 7. If you're happy with the 6, stick with it. Maybe get the 8 next year. You'll probably get a good opportunity there. But otherwise, I would say hold on to your Pixel 6. If you've had problems with it, if you want to get rid of it, if you just like to upgrade year over year, there's some pretty good deals. I mean, shoot, for the Pixel 6, they're giving $440 over at Best Buy, I think. Might be more at Best Buy, but for sure $440 at Google. And then a $100 gift card at either place if you want to get the Pixel 7. Well, Pixel 7 is only $599. So basically, you're looking at $150 out of pocket that you would have to pay. And then you get that $100 gift card you could put towards something else. Maybe a Pixel Watch if you decide you want to get one of those, which I got that right here. I've been testing it out. I have a lot of mixed feelings on it. The battery life's not so great. But otherwise, I think it's an okay first venture into the smartwatch world. But yeah, going to wrap this one up. That's kind of just a rough, bare bones kind of comparison here just to give you an idea of what you're looking at. Is it worthwhile? I think it can be. If it's something you're interested in, if you're not happy with the 6, if you want to get the new one every year, if you want to get those valuable upgrades in the selfie and also in the processing performance and a little bit smoothness, a little bit more smoothness, a little bit more reliability, then yes, I think the 7 is definitely worth it. I think the 7 is a better phone. Again, the 7 is the phone the 6 should have been, but gosh darn it, I really love the way this phone looks. I like the way the 6 works. Well, it looks better than the 7. Take that one to the record book. I stand by that one. I like the way this one looks better than this one. But that's all I got on this comparison. What do you think? Do you have one of these phones? Are you interested in the other phone? Do you have some experience to speak from? Let's talk about it. Go to the comment section. We'll have some discussion there. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, if you like these kind of videos, then please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.